Hey, Brother Roberts.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, overall, that was a good lesson you taught there.
I appreciate it.
I took a few notes that we can go over from it.
Okay.
One, I did tell you, good job on that. It was a good job because nearly 100% of the kids on task. Really, not nearly, 100% of them on task. Okay. From what I watched in the video, not only were they on task, they were engaged and they were eager how they raised their hands. They wanted to be a part of that. And then I noticed sometimes some of our subgroups, some of the males who typically might shy away, you had those subgroups of guys engaged in learning. So that was a good thing.
Okay.
Let me see, that was 1, 2, I had 6 points and then 2 points of suggestions. So that was 3. 4, it's obvious that you developed a culture of learning without distractions. And so I don't know whether or not this is the upper level class, but it just seemed based on your scores that are high for science, you developed that. So good job with that.
Thank you.
That was 4. 5, your transitions. You transitioned from very well. You went from a bell ringer to review notes to new notes. It was seamless, no loss of time. Sometimes teachers can lose minutes when they transition, but you went smooth. You came off camera, I guess, to change the slides from what you had them doing in the first, which they were engaged. I've noticed. Let me add one. I noticed they had notes. Was this a special notebook for a class?
Yes, it's everybody should have their own individual science notebook.
I like that. Interactive notebooks in pedagogy, that's the current trend for kids keeping track of it, making reference, and in the long run, as we get closer to TCAP and crunch time, that you can reference these things as a review material and learning material.
Right.
So good job on that. Let's see, another thing I had. You moved around the room well. So not just every kid, you can also you were able to gauge their work. You were able to check a kid, see that they were writing on it. So good job on that. Only 2 things, and then one was a question. That whiteboard, I'd ask you to question yourself. Could you engage that whiteboard? When I looked at the video, it was empty. Could you engage? Could there be something that maybe send a kid to write something, or how would you draw something? Just have them engage with that.
Right.
With that, maybe a question. What this is like, how we use Bloom's thing. How could this looks like? What else has layers to it? And see, or just engage them. Let them engage in that space on the whiteboard.
Okay.
And then another. The slides were great because your scores show you're obviously doing well. So it's not like how you go from something that's good, how you take it to better or best. It's hard to get that, but you're doing well because your scores show it. How can you maybe add a review slide after they've drawn a slide or something? Add a question slide in on it.
Okay.
And maybe a timer. That's pretty a way to kind of. But you don't track you too. Not that you need a timer. Those are just some of the tools that people have. I would say if you could incorporate a timer, use that whiteboard, and add a review slide, maybe every 3 slides. But all those things is overwhelmingly an amazing lesson because the kids will engage. When you got engaged kids, that's easy to do. That was probably a proficient and advanced class, and so well, at least they're going to track that way. And so you've done a great job with them. I wish I could get every class to be as devoted as that is.
That was my proficient 8th grade class.
Okay. Yeah. They were all engaged. I saw we had athletes in there, non-athletes, and so things just went smoothly. When it was time for the girl to leave, she packed up her stuff, ordered. So order seems to be something that's already taught. Right. And you take those middle school years, if you don't have order in place, you can't get to this content learning. They knew it wasn't just you saying it. They knew there was a crust, a mantle, outer core, inner core. They understood the difference between which one was liquid nickel, which one was the solid. So that I could tell that was established from the bell ringer and the review notes that had been taught well, and you drilled it into them. So you gave them a time for practice. So hearing them often, kudos.
Sure.
So just check as going forward. I check back in a week or 2, okay. And you can check with me. How do we engage in that board space and see if we can add a timer and a question slide after the teaching slides?
That'll work. Yes, sir. I'll do my best to incorporate that and try to get better.
Keep having fun with it, man. You're doing a good job and you had fun with it. That was evident.
Thanks, sir.
No worries,
Appreciate
brother.
your time.
Anytime.